11th Hour, an audio drama by Patricia Asedegbega.
Episode 3.
Helen sat at the back of the church, watching the nun pray in front pew. Sister Josephine was kneeling and had been doing so during the half hour Helen had been there. She closed her eyes, not really knowing what to say, feeling out of her depth in a Catholic church. Though Helen had been baptized, her stepmother had started taking the family to her church soon after she joined the family of 2. Helen was more conscious at that point, more than ever, especially watching the nun, that she didn't know how to sit in silence for so long, talking to God. Helen looked at the bag beside her. In truth, she had come to say goodbye, for after a very restless night, her decision to run away seemed like the only one that she could make.
This I can pray about. God, please let Sister Josephine have connections in a convent that I can go and hide. And also let my family forgive me, should I dare return.
Opening her eyes, she saw that the nun had gotten up, walked to the front, was kneeling and making the sign of the cross. Picking up her traveling bag, Helen hurried in her direction before any of the other praying women did the same. Her problem was more important today. She had to get to Sister Josephine first.
Good morning, Helen. Can you wait for me in my office? Here's the key. I have to attend to someone.
Helen nodded, glad to be able to speak to the nun in her office. It meant that they would have a bit more time and privacy to sort out her issues. An agonizing 15 minutes later, Sister Josephine opened the door and motioned for Helen, who had been pacing up and down the room, to take a seat across her desk.
Helen, we don't have an appointment. And you're here with a bulging at the seams traveling bag. I hope my initial assessment of the situation isn't correct.
Helen rushed to sit and looked up at the woman.
It's right, sister. It's right. It might seem like a cowardly and immature thing to do, but when I tell you what has been happening, you'll drive me to my destination yourself. You see, sister...
Helen proceeded to give a detailed account of what had occurred, adding in parts that she hadn't told her friends. She watched the face of the nun, expecting to find some sort of sign of approval, but the woman's countenance remained impassive. Finally, Helen ended her tale by repeating various times that running away was the only possible solution. Helen then waited for the nun to speak.
Helen, if the situation wasn't such a serious one, I'd be laughing at how comical the scene before me is. Look, you're free to disappear if you desire to. You might not appreciate how far you've come in the last year, but you really have. And that is why I know that running away will create more questions than answers, especially for you. You're not that woman who stood shamefaced in the market stall, wishing the ground would open and swallow her.
But sister, you don't seem to have understood a single word I just said. If I stay, in 3 weeks, I will walk down that altar. I can't do that. I just can't. Why can't my family see that I don't want to do this?
Okay, this is not the answer to anything. Helen, you need to learn to use your words. It won't be easy, but this isn't about going to visit an aunt that you don't like. It's much more serious. If you're thinking of cancelling the wedding, tell the first person, being your fiancé. Also, you've made a lot of assumptions. I too would feel exactly the way you do if I were in the same situation. But explain everything calmly to the one person who can give you the answers. Don't let the fact that invites have been sent out, banns of marriage read, money spent, and the many plans made influence you. At this moment, the two people who are about to commit the rest of their lives to each other are the people that matter. A week ago, you told me you loved Chris. You were happy. Has everything that happened made you realize that what you've been feeling isn't love?
Helen paused for a moment upon hearing the question, frowning as she pondered on it.
Sister, like I've told you, of the 4 relationships I've had, I've only ever been able to walk out on one by myself. I wasn't happy in them. But until I met you, I just didn't have a voice. What scares me is that had those 3 men not left me, I'd have married them if they had asked. And sister, I was so unhappy. I did what was expected of me. I said what I was supposed to say. I said I loved them out of fear that they would leave me because I wanted the approval of the people in my life. I've never told Chris that I love him. I just find it difficult to use that word now. Even when he asked me to marry him, I was thinking, I was just thinking that the speech he was making was to break up. I do love him, but I can't tell him. Especially now that I know that he doesn't see anything out of the ordinary in me. And I can't forget the other things Tunde said. I feel so trapped. And this evening at dinner, I'm going to feel suffocated. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my voice like I normally do and just nod my agreement at everything.
Helen, I know mothers can be intimidating, and you've never stood up to yours. But listen to me. You are an adult. Nobody can make you do anything you don't want to do. Don't just go with the flow. Learn to say no. Can you try to see Chris before the dinner? Look, I won't abandon you. You come and see me at any time. But I won't sugarcoat things either. Believe it or not, you are lucky. Most of the people who come to see me are already married, and they're trying to fix issues that should have been trashed out before they made their vows. You are facing it all now, and that takes courage. You'll constantly be in my prayers. Would you like us to pray together? You know I don't do anything without consulting God. So I can't think of a better way to start this journey.
The older woman waited for an answer. Helen nodded as she closed her eyes and listened to the words coming out of the nun's mouth. Helen parked her car outside her shop. Through the rear-view mirror, she saw the traveling bag on the back seat. It seemed to be mocking her.
I tried. I really did. But Sister Josephine just has an answer for everything. Hey bag, stay there. In case the meeting with Chris goes wrong and I need to make a run for it. Okay? And now I'm talking to a bag.
Helen walked into her shop and surveyed it. There were ready-made clothes on the racks, a few displayed on mannequins, and at the back of the shop. Her workspace was located where the 3 different kinds of sewing machines she owned were situated.
Can I leave all this behind? I worked so hard for everything here. And finally, now I'm beginning to make profits and have returning customers. It's all so unfair.
Suddenly, she felt that she was no longer alone. Turning around, she saw a woman, more or less of her age. Helen frowned as the woman looked familiar. Suddenly, she gasped. Gabrielle Ibrahim was in her shop.
Hello. I hope I didn't startle you. You seem to be engrossed in something. I'm Gabrielle Ibrahim.
Helen looked abashed for a moment and then hurried towards the outstretched hand.
Oh, yes, of course. I know who you are. Welcome. Do come in. I'm sorry, I'm just dealing with some issues and was talking to myself.
Oh, don't apologize. I do it all the time as well. I didn't call ahead. You might be busy, but I won't take much of your time. I just wanted to bring your wedding presents and apologize for not attending. I wanted to express my best wishes and prayers for your upcoming nuptials.
Helen gestured for her visitor to please take a seat, and she did the same as she proceeded to open the carefully wrapped boxes inside the bag. There was a bag and a purse for her, and a document holder and a wallet for Chris. Helen exclaimed as she looked them over. The workmanship was so delicate, it was no surprise that the GV brand was leading in the market for designer shoes and bags.
This is beautiful. Whoa. I won't say you shouldn't have.
I made them especially for you both. Chris told me that blue is your favorite color. I'm sorry that I won't be attending. I was invited when Alex and I were dating, and now that we aren't, there really isn't any reason for me to be there.
Chris had told me that he wasn't sure that you would be coming, but that Alex hadn't said anything regarding his +1 either. I understand perfectly. I kind of feel guilty accepting this.
Why? Isn't it the norm? You get a gift when you get married. There should be no guilt on your part. You didn't ask me for it.
I'm not sure that there's going to be a wedding.
Oh,
When you were with Alex, did you ever meet up with Chris and his friends? I mean, at their club or any party. What did they say about me?
that's a strange question. Are you unsure of what your fiancé thinks about you? Why do you need the approval of his friends?
For the second time that day, Helen recounted what had occurred in the previous days, and how unsettled she was feeling.
Oh, I know Sister Josephine, too. Small world. Or not really. She's good. Oh my! You do have a lot running through your mind, and I do agree with you. What you heard was unsettling, but only you can know what your relationship has been. Surely you must have felt sure when you accepted his marriage proposal, right?
You know, sometimes one doesn't even identify what's underneath the surface. There are problems. You know something is wrong, but you just go on. Until one day someone points something out. And you have to decide if you want to ignore it or not. I lost my mother at a young age, And I've just been substituting her affection all my life. From one bad relationship to another, wanting the approval of my stepmother, who was over the moon when Chris and I started dating. Don't get me wrong, I love Chris. But now I'm sure that I don't want to marry someone who doesn't put me first like I do him.
I totally understand. And I applaud your courage. I'm sure this isn't easy at all. To answer your question, I saw Chris, I think about 3 times. I can't recall him saying anything in particular about you that made me uneasy. I congratulated him on his engagement the last time I saw him at a party. I asked if you were around and he said you weren't. He thanked me. I don't think he said anything else to me. No.
Did anyone else say anything about me?
Well, at that party, I found myself surrounded in the midst of a number of women to whom I had been introduced. One of them mentioned that Chris was in attendance alone again. She didn't understand why you weren't there with him. She said that if he was hers, she wouldn't let him out of her sight.
Oh, don't stop on my account. This is not the time to spare my feelings. Go on. Go on.
Then another said that she didn't understand why Chris and his ex broke up. Apparently, they had been together for a good number of years and she was his spec. Summarizing from what they said, they didn't feel that you fit into their circle. Wow! That dress is beautiful. You made it?
This is the one thing that's mine. This place. I've worked really hard and now I'm finally making headway. So, aside from not feeling that I didn't really fit into Chris's circle, I've had to put in a lot of hours here. This dream helped me get over my last breakup before Chris. That's when the plan germinated in my mind. This helped me keep busy.
You seem to have a passion for your work. I would like one dress, like this one, and another like the purple one. I have material at home, 2, to be precise. I'll get them to you. When did you start sewing?
It was a long time ago. I started when I was 12, out of necessity, really. But it's become my passion. It was Christmas time. You know the custom of wearing something new on Christmas Day? Well, my mother had bought the material for the family, and my sisters and I waited eagerly for the tailor to finish our clothes. I remember after various attempts of my mother going for them and coming back empty-handed. On Christmas Eve, we finally got them. And to cut a tale of woes short, when I looked at myself in the mirror, I burst into tears. My mother said that it wasn't the dress. It was me. I just was very odd-shaped. Knowing that I was to wear it the next day to church and then to visit various family members, I spent a good number of hours that night trying to make it wearable. Ever since, I've been making things to fit my shape. And when I went to uni and had more freedom, I enrolled in a fashion school. Part-time, but I was able to finish. And the rest, like they say, is history.
There's nothing wrong with your shape.
Oh, that's so kind of you to say. But if you notice, my shoulders are too broad and my...
No, there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. People and body types are different, and it doesn't make one better or worse. Your shoulders are not too broad. They are proportional to the rest of your body. You have a lovely figure.
Helen opened her mouth to protest, and she shut it again. Perhaps Gabrielle was being kind. Yes, that was it. Gabrielle Ibrahim was a woman who exhibited very good manners. She would never make a derogatory comment about someone's physique.
No, I'm not being kind. You are very pretty, and you only have lip gloss on. I understand what Chris saw in you, Helen. It's about time you really start believing in yourself. I must rush. I have a meeting to go to. I'll keep you in my prayers so you make the right decision for everyone involved. But especially that you take yourself into consideration. I'll send the fabrics to you. Here's my card. Let me know when I need to come so you can take my measurements.
Gabrielle handed Helen her card, smiled at her, and left the shop. Helen walked over to the standing mirror, her eyes on her shoulders.
Decisions, decisions, decisions. What will Helen do? Subscribe to Patricia Asedegbega's YouTube channel and find out in the radio drama, The 11th Hour. You wouldn't want to miss a single episode. Trust me. Thank you for listening. Helen and Co. will be back very soon with the rest of their story. Hey, don't go anywhere. Not without subscribing, liking, hitting the bell button for notification, and leaving a comment, my people.